Hi guys, so I made it to Russia and I am at my parents' country house right now and it's lovely. They've been having a heat wave. Actually, most of Europe has been having a heat wave for the last couple of weeks, so the temperature has been really hot here. But you know, to me, since I live in New Jersey, this is nothing. So I would say Celsius, it's about 85. In New Jersey, it's not unusual to have a 95-degree days and 100-degree days in the summer. So 85 is nothing. But for here and for my parents and for all the neighbors, it's incredibly hot. So I am going to show you the garden, and it's beautiful. And so this is the garden where I started gardening as a child. And so it has a lot of sentimental value to me. There's some plants that I planted as a teenager that are still here, and you know, a lot has changed, of course, but I feel at home here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the climate here. I went online and I tried to do some research as to what zone this is. So my parents' country house is in the outskirts of St. Petersburg. So I went online and I tried to find some sort of equivalent of the zones that we use in US. And apparently zones are universal. And from what I looked up, it said St. Petersburg was zone 4. And I thought it was kind of okay. Yes, it's cold winters, you know, kind of warm summers, but not too warm. I don't think it gets over 80, but it's a very prolonged and cold winters here, really long winters. So the last frost is like middle of May, no, middle of June is the last frost, and the first frost is beginning of September. So it's like 3 months of growing season. And then I spoke to the neighbor here, and I was just curious if whether she knew what the zone was, and she said it was zone 2. So this is a zone 2 garden, which is insane. Like, I understand zone 5, I understand zone 6 and 7 and 10. Zone 2 is ridiculous. So the next coldest zone is basically a tundra. So nothing grows in the zone 1. It's only lichens and moss that grow in the zone 1. So you can imagine what's happening in the zone 2. They cannot grow boxwoods or hollies or yews. It's not hardy. It's just they're not hardy in this area. So let me just switch my hand. So everything has to be insulated for the winter, like rhododendrons, roses, hydrangeas, anything like has to be covered with burlap and leaves and all kind of insulation. So, you know, it's it is what it is, but the garden is beautiful and people are doing their best to have a beautiful garden in this climate. And I'm actually surprised just how pretty it can be in extreme weather like this. So I actually, when I looked up zone 2, in Russia, it is considered technically a risky farming zone. You can plant things, you cannot expect them to produce anything. So anyway, let me show you the garden. So I will start at this spot here, and we have some potted begonias, which are very pretty. And look, check this out. My mom just used a branch to support it. That's kind of cool. And this bed of pansies here is still going. You know, in New Jersey, where I'm from, it's too hot for the pansies to be still blooming, but because the nights here are pretty cool, these little guys are still going here. So cute. Okay, so here I have this gorgeous phlox. Just look at the stripes on that. Oh, so pretty. This little bed here, there's some calendulas, marigolds. I think that's limelight right there, limelight hydrangea. And I saw that my mom has some of these cool dahlias, the ones, you know, that are like puffy type. I really want those now. Some more phlox. Ooh, this lily is very pretty. And here, this is pretty much a phlox situation. And just keep going. There are some petunias over here, some phlox, and my dad is having a big trouble with this rose right here. It's supposed to be a climbing rose, but he says it never blooms. Trying to resolve this situation. Then he has a clematis. So this arborvitae right here, I planted myself when I was 17 years old, and it was about 3 feet tall. So just for perspective, this is what happens in a long time to an arborvitae in Russia. This is really love like the walkway material that they picked, like that flagstone. That's another limelight here. So they have a little pond, and those ducks are not real. And they had some water lilies blooming earlier. You know, they closed for the night, but it's very serene. Nice little seating area. Oh, this juniper I also planted as well a long time ago. And check out the support for the peonies. Oh, this pine, this is a Mugo pine right here. I planted that as well, and that pine is 20 years, so maybe a little over 20 years. Okay, so here we have some dahlias, and a bee is kind of trying to gather nectar. But these dahlias are about 6 feet tall, and my mom planted foxglove everywhere. Now that thing over there, I think that's Alsea. I'm not sure if it's roseum or some other type. I really want that one in my garden now. And the light is kind of weird right now, but obviously my mom is into orange flowers, unlike me. I think this is an iceberg rose here. And my dad said that they keep blooming reliably here in this climate. Some calendulas. Now check out this apple tree. It's tiny, and apples stay really, really small in this climate, but it is covered in apples. I don't know when the harvest is, but I think they're gonna have a lot of apples. Isn't that cool? I think that's so cool. There's support for all the apples. Okay, so there's another little bed of dahlias. Just beautiful. And they still have some peas going. Sweet peas. Mine are long gone. It's too hot to New Jersey for them, but here they're still going. Oh, this one is so pretty. Oh, look at that. Ooh, that's a beauty right here. Okay, so this area next to the house is mostly, there's some hydrangeas, some phlox. These phlox are so fragrant. The rooster is not real, and the chicken is not real either. More phlox, and more phlox. Alright, as for the produce, I just wanted to show you the greenhouse number 1 is here, and pretty much everything has to be grown in the greenhouses here. Cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, nothing will make it outside. I mean, they will be okay, but they will not produce. So everything has to be grown inside. So my dad has some cucumbers. He gathered most of them, so I will show you what we did to the cucumbers earlier today. I finally learned how to pickle them, which I'm very proud of. And I believe those are cauliflower right here. And so the funny thing is, you see how they're like pristine, there's nothing wrong. And right over here, he put some cauliflower outside, and it's full of holes, and we can't figure out what's happening to them. So if you know what's eating the cauliflower and other cabbages here, let me know. And that's rhubarb. Okay, so the greenhouse number 2, right here, it's like a real house situation. Actually, right in front of it, my dad has some leeks. He said that he never grown them. He's not sure how they're gonna do in this climate. A bunch of potato beds. There are onions and carrots, and then this bed right here is wheat because it's resting. That's what farmers do. They turn over and they use bumper crops. Oh, there's a froggy. Oh my word. You see it? Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Hi. Hello. So I'm just gonna leave them there. They're so good for the garden. Now again, same situation with the cabbage. Something is eating it over there, like really going after it. Now here, over here we have watermelon, which is not producing anything. It's just not warm enough. But my dad decided to experiment, just like I experiment with everything. Again, we gathered all of the cucumbers from here. There's some beets. Beets look really good. Oh my word, look at that. Such healthy crop. And on this side, just more tomatoes over here. And they are tons of tomatoes. It's not pretty. Now again, more cauliflower, again being eaten by something over there. Look at that. Crazy. That's just crazy. But, you know, this greenhouse is huge. It is probably, let me move out here. This here is probably, it's my dad right there. I don't know. It's like 25 feet by at least 8-10 feet. So, you know, that's one of the main production greenhouses. All right, and I just want to show you, this is my dad's rainwater collection system, and my dad is watering plants. It hasn't been raining for a while. Okay. So there are also some cherries. So these are sour cherries. The sweet cherries that we have in the States don't make it here. This is about as big the cherries get here. So, ooh, and my mom has some of the lantern plants here. I love those. They haven't turned yet, but you know. Oh, and these are pretty. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. So I think we made it all the way around. There's phlox again here, and I love the surface here again. This is so just natural and very, very nice looking. Some begonias on this side here, and check this one out. The hanging one. Very cool. So that's about it. So this is it for my parents' garden. I hope you liked it, and I hope you could see how hard they work at having it bloom and thrive. So if you have any questions, post them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.